Dear colleagues, thank you for taking the time today to discuss your experience and to reflect on your participation over the past 6 months in the Sdg Ambition Accelerator. We are joined today by a few representatives from Georgian and Ukrainian companies and NGOs. The track had 40 participants at the beginning, and approximately 50% of the participants submitted their projects in the end. And we thank you today for joining us to discuss your experience. So let me present our Ukrainian participants, and then I will hand it over to Nino, who will present her Georgian cohort. Today, Ukraine is represented by 2 participants. The first speaker will be Irina Fischuk, representing Teple Misto NGO. Irina is a sustainability consultant. She represents the Teple Misto business community, and she also consults for UNDP in Ukraine. She is interested in sustainable business development, and she likes to focus her efforts on design and implementation of sustainable business models, policies, and procedures. And the next representative from Ukraine will be Oksana. Oksana Homey is the Government and External Relations Country Manager for Shell in Ukraine. Oksana supports business operations, including cooperation with state agencies, embassies, business associations, and other external stakeholders. And she also manages the company's relations pertaining to social investment agenda. Oksana has substantial experience in communications, public affairs, and government relations, having worked with international companies and organizations. We thank you for being here today. And I would also like to thank Ashley Shack, who is representing the Global Operations team at the UN Global Compact. She has first-hand experience of developing the Sdg Ambition program and will be facilitating today's session to speak to our participants. And with that, I give it over to Nino.
Thanks a lot, Alexandra. It is a pleasure to greet the Leader Summit participants and to have opportunity to hold Georgian and Ukrainian breakout session about lessons learned from the Sdg Ambition journey. On behalf of Global Compact Network Georgia, I would like once again to thank Georgian and Ukrainian companies for their participation in the UN Global Compact initiative. We very much appreciate your interest and effort in making Sdg Ambition Georgian and Ukrainian track successful. 12 Georgian companies and 24 participants expressed their interest to participate in Sdg Ambition and willingness in setting ambitious corporate targets and accelerating integration of the 17 SDGs into core business management. Today, for the breakout session, we have 2 panelists from Georgia. I want to introduce Billy Isiani, Marketing and Public Relations Manager at Orient Logic. Billy is an accomplished marketer and enjoys using skills to contribute to technological advances that happen every day at Orient Logic. And second participant is Ketevan Zhvania. She's a PR and Digital Communications Manager at FS Georgia. Ketevan is chairwoman of CSR Commission at ICC Georgia as well. She has 15 years of working experience in different companies, NGO and governmental organization. I wish you all interesting and fruitful discussion. Now I want to give a floor to our moderator, Ashley Shack. Ashley, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alexandra and Nino. So my name is Ashley Shack, and I work on the Global Operations team at UN Global Compact, and I work as a coordinator for the Sdg Ambition Accelerator. So just as a brief background to the program, Sdg Ambition is one of UNGC's Global Impact Initiatives, or GIIs, that both challenges and supports companies to be more strategic and transformative in how they run their businesses in order to develop and to drive the Agenda 2030. Through Sdg Ambition, companies learn how to set bolder goals that are more aligned with their governance and their overall strategy. So we help them achieve this by addressing barriers to both speed and scale that are quite common in sustainability journeys for companies around the world. And we do this by a series of facilitated workshops and on-demand courses that participants can watch through our Academy platform. So this year, our program was 100% virtual, thanks to the pandemic. But because of that, we were able to avail of sustainability and tech experts from Accenture innovation hubs around the world. And I'm lucky enough that through my job, I'm able to meet participants and facilitators from around the world. But definitely one of the most rewarding experiences of working on this accelerator is watching the participant solutions really come to life at the end of the program. So with that, I'm very happy to introduce Ukraine and Georgia's panel on lessons learned on the Sdg Ambition journey. So Alexandra and Nino introduced our 4 panelists today. And so I wanted to start off and talk a little bit about the challenges, sustainability challenges. So a key component of Sdg Ambition is learning how to craft your pitch and become an effective storyteller in order to generate buy-in both internally and with external stakeholders. So I wanted to take this chance to ask our panelists today what their sustainability journey looked like, and if you encountered any challenges along the way or any challenges that even helped you or encouraged you to join this accelerator. So Billy, we can start off with you.
Hello, Ashley again. Hello, everyone. I'm Billy Siani, Marketing and Public Relations Manager at OrientLogic. OrientLogic is a leading IT company in Georgia, founded almost 25 years ago. Nowadays, we have more than 150 employees with the main goal to support and develop our customers' businesses, boosting their profitability, competitiveness, and market share. Implement innovative state-of-art IT solutions for the successful penetration of domestic and new international markets by our customers. It's a great honor for me to participate in UN Global Compact Leader Summit, and I would like to thank the Georgian side of the UN Global Compact for this opportunity given to me to talk today about innovations, challenges, and unique projects which I and my team have developed during these 6 months with the help of the Accelerator program. Let's start with the fact that the current challenge of OrientLogic as a brand, it's not just raising the awareness of a specific issue, but to create a certain experience. Making real changes with these experiences is the most important step. As the leading IT company on the Georgian market, from my point of view, our goals set in the UN Global Compact program will be a kind of example for other technology companies. OrientLogic is an opportunity platform. With the slogan, we set ourselves the main challenge. As part of the program, we have outlined plans for the short and long-term period to take actions. The biggest challenge for us was the fact that the company had no experience in setting such kind of ambitious goals, especially when COVID-19 emerged. All the goals were redesigned and reestimated in a short period of time. However, with joint efforts and the help of the UN Global Compact, I would also like to thank all the participating companies who have shared their experiences on how to achieve these goals effectively. The second challenge for us was time. Despite the fact there are still 9 years until 2030, the initial steps should be taken as soon as possible. The goal that our company has chosen requires close relationship with government and private sector representatives, primarily just because it all involves great resources. Hence, without the help of someone else, the goal won't be achieved in the way we have conceived. Finally, at the first stage, we started active communications with NGOs, received recommendations from professionals in this field, and I'm glad that in such a short period of time, the light at the end of the tunnel is already visible, and I believe the challenges can be overcome together.
Thank you, Billy. It's really great to see companies really use that timeline for Agenda 2030. It's not just us, it's everyone.
Yes, of course.
So now we can move over to Irina. I think you're on mute, Irina.
Okay, thank you a lot. It's a nice it's nice to have a good opportunity to express all my emotion according to this summit. First of all, I would like to say a great thank you a lot for the opportunity to take part in Global Summit. And so my name is Irina Fishchuk, and I'm a member of the business community of the NGO Teple Misto. In Ukraine, it means warm city. This NGO is working in Ivano-Frankivsk, and the main idea of Teplé Mist is changing community. The mission is to be innovative platform for creating possibilities and social transformations. On the example of Ivano-Frankivsk, to encourage changes in Ukraine and beyond. Warm City is an organization that was founded more than 7 years ago. And our vision is a progressive modern warm city with warm people in it. Warm attitude, warm people, warm relation, and the small is beautiful ethic. You get a sensation that here is something more than you can buy by money, and you can feel a touch of some proud values through simple people around us. We have great and sustainable projects such as Prompt Relent, and also we have very special programs that can make good links in circular economy approaches. Also, for all our years of working, we make more than 61 grants program, and especially now we have one accelerator for social entertainment. Also, it is very famous that we have such urban cafe like Urban Store and other projects. As well, I would like to say that our NGO is very special because we collect a lot of different companies, and we have a very strong business community.
Great. Well, thanks for that introduction. I've never really heard of a warm city before, only a green city. So that was very interesting. Thank you. So now we can move on to Ketivan.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here on this summit, and I would like to thank you to the representatives of Global Compact to give us such a great opportunity, and also all the facilitators of the workshop of this program. It was quite interesting and useful for us. So our company, my company is FS Georgia. I'm a PR and digital communications manager here. And what about sustainability projects and CSR projects? It's already 13 years that we are implementing CSR projects in several directions. And the challenge, our main challenge is to prioritize some of the directions. For example, our main directions are environment, our people, and society. And within these directions, we are implementing several sustainable projects. So during this workshop, we had a good opportunity to meet with professionals to discuss all the goals and tasks, actions, some ideas what to implement for next years. And also it was very impactful for me to discuss several issues with the participants, to listen to other companies, other NGOs, and to discuss with within the groups and with participants. It was quite useful, and I would like to thank you all.
Great. I'm glad to hear you got so much out of working with other participants. So next we can move on to Oksana.
Hello everybody. I'm representing Shell company in Ukraine. So we are present as Shell Retail, and we entered Ukrainian market in 2007. Although we are quite small in Ukraine, we are international company operating in 70 countries. In Ukraine, we are present in 20 oblasts, and we have 132 fuel sites. Well, our commitment to sustainability was part of the Shell General Business Principles since 1997. And these principles, together with the Code of Conduct, apply to the way we do business everywhere we do operate. The COVID-19 pandemic made the last year, 2020, very challenging year for our business. And it was a time when we had to reflect on our new reality and quickly adapt. And sustainability approach has become one of the cornerstones of our business and our strategy that we set to transform our business. We have seen inspiring action in healthcare and science, and we have seen also widespread collaboration between business and between governments. At Shell, we also joined UN Global Compact last year in 2020, and we are very happy to join the Sdg Academy because it allowed us to reflect on our sustainability approaches, and if we actually do work on them in a proper way. In Ukraine, we also started elaborating on and actually finalized sustainability plan for Ukraine to gradually transform our business to do progress in regard to sustainable development goals and Agenda 2030. We took also additional steps to make our workplaces safe for our customers and for our staff, and also to review many other usual practices to make them more sustainable. Also in February 2021, our global headquarters announced that we will move and we will have to transform our business in line with the Powering Progress strategy. It sets our goals for powering lives and livelihoods, and also respect nature by protecting the environment. In line with the strategy, we have to play a role as the world leader and accelerate towards a future of nearer and lower carbon energy. And we will integrate our sustainability approach all across this pathway. Our efforts are also informed by many international agreements and definitely by initiatives. One of this is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Oksana, and welcome to the Global Compact. It's great to see Shell already participating in some of our GIIs, so that's great. So next up, I wanted to move on to some key takeaways. So throughout the program, we utilized 10 Sdg Ambition Benchmarks. Now, these benchmarks have been developed from the SDGs, and they're designed to be more applicable to businesses across all industries and businesses of all sizes. And by choosing one of these benchmarks to focus on through the program, participants are able to identify an area within their business where they can really raise ambition and also become an industry leader in achieving the SDGs. So I'm really interested in hearing from all of our panelists today, which of the 10 benchmarks your company team chose to work on. So if you could also go into what that benchmark is and how you chose it, that would be great. Billy, we can start with you.
Okay, the main selected benchmark of Orient Logic is end deforestation and restore degraded forests. We as a brand want to contribute in the implementation of restore degraded forests and sustainably increase in afforestation and reforestation. First step for this was the Restore Krtsanisi Historical Forest Park, almost 100 years old forest park in the center of the Tbilisi that has been abandoned for years, despite the fact that many people from our community have been discussing the restoration of Krtsanisi Forest Park. In recent years, only 2020 recovery process was decided, and Orient Logic will be one of the first in the private sector who will take the assistance in the process. The main reason why we have chosen this benchmark was not only the restoration of Krtsanisi Forest Park. During the 2008 Russia-Georgia war, 950 hectares of forest in Borjomi were burned by the Russian side. The fire lasted for several weeks and destroyed 250 hectares. Although nearly 30,000 tree seedlings were soon planted, there are still about 30 hectares left that still need to be restored. So our main goal is to fully restore the historic forest of Borjomi by 2030. As for the first step, we have created a campaign More Air, the aim of which is planting trees in Georgia, both in urban areas and on the protected areas as well, such as national parks or outdoor spaces. At the first stage of the campaign, all employees of Orient Logic will plant a tree, yet the campaign won't be a one-time activity, it will be annually, as we want to help our country in the process to accelerating the planting process. The second goal is the near future ambition set inside the organization. We want to place green boxes installed in the company offices and recycle the paper sheet that we no longer use. We intend to achieve this goal by the end of 2021. Also, by 2025, our goal is to completely remove the paper sheets from daily usage, be it signatures, contracts, or other materials. I think solely planting forests won't solve the problem. If eventually cutting down trees again will become necessary even from another country because of daily usage of paper. I strongly believe this is the main point of the SDG ambition, to look at all the problems globally and pursue each other's right goals to save the planet from various problems. The main outtake for us was to understand how important it is to participate in the cause. All the ambitious goals set by the UN Global Compact, while truly aspiring, are not unsurmountable or mission impossible. We understood that businesses are vital partners in achieving sustainable development goals. Orient Logic can contribute through our core activities and assess our impact, ambitious goals, and communicate transparently about the results.
Great, thank you. You have a great point. You can't just stop ambition at planting a forest. You need to go all the way back. So
Of course, yes.
It's great to hear the accelerator helped you out with that. So now we can move on to Irina now.
May I? Yeah, thank you. So you see, I represent NGO, and exactly our NGO has a very big and strong business community. That's why we were looking for some ideas for sustainability, not only for us like company, but also for big community, different businesses. That's why we try to find this idea to make strong circular economy links. And after that, we understand that it is the best way to have great impact in this sustainability progress. I mean, we would like to find such benchmark like 100% resources recovery, and all small businesses and all big businesses, they are trying very ambitious idea, and this idea collect and unite different businesses. And as for me and for all members of our business community, it means that we have a good and strong plan. Thank you.
Thank you. I think your connection went out a little in the middle of it, but for anyone who couldn't hear, she was working on the 100% resource recovery benchmark. So thank you for that introduction. And now we can move on to Ketevan.
So we choose zero waste to landfill and incineration. We think with discussions within the groups, during the workshop, in pairs within the groups, we selected this benchmark. So this is a very important waste management for such companies as we are. We already have waste management system, but and we do a lot of actions in this regard. But we during this workshop we made a very ambitious goals to be more ambitious and to focus on 2030. So within this benchmark of zero waste, the main direction is to reduce plastic waste and also paper waste, but especially we mean in this to reduce plastic waste. So this project and this action plan would consist firstly with finding partners within non-governmental organizations, within international organizations who are experts in this regard and who have expertise. So first of all, we need to work with them to get consultations. And also, what is very important, from now we already have opportunity to start information campaigns within the company and also outside the company. I mean, within the company, I mean among our employees, and outside the company, we mean our partners, our consumers, all the stakeholders linked to our company. So we can make a big difference and changes within the country in this regard, as well as we have very strong channels, communication channels with social media, so a lot of marketing materials, so we can do in this regard as well.
Great, thank you. It's interesting to hear already about some of the internal and external stakeholders you're planning to incorporate in your solution. So that's interesting.
Thank you.
So now we can move on to Oksana.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. So we have actually brainstormed on several possible benchmarks, and we have been thinking which are the most important for our business. And we have chosen three. The first one is to become a zero net emissions energy business by 2050. In step with this society's progress toward achieving net zero. The second one is to use nature-based solutions, while in line with our philosophy to avoid, reduce, and offset emissions. And the third one is to implement local sustainability plan in Ukraine. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So next up, I wanted to talk about some of these unique projects that will be coming out of this last step of looking at the benchmarks. And so as I mentioned before, one of the most rewarding parts of the program for me was listening to everyone's final pitch in the last workshop. And this was interesting really just to kind of get like a deeper look into how participants are really putting their learnings from the program into action. So I'm interested in asking the panelists today, how does your company plan to or hope to integrate your chosen benchmark into their overall company strategy or business plan? So Billy, we can start with you.
Okay, so for the first step, we have learned more about our goals and KPIs to see how this benchmark is directly or indirectly related to our business activities. After that, we have prioritized targets that will have the biggest impact in terms of risk or opportunity in the medium to long term, and which sub-goals Orient Logic has the ability to contribute to achieving progress in. We knew that to make the SDG strategy viable and effective, we must integrate this benchmark into the existing strategy, taking into consideration things such business models, procurement, and RDB processes. We have already incorporated this mission into the business model. This goal will be the core corporate social responsibility direction of the company in the coming years. Fortunately, the visions of the founders and the management coincided, and therefore it was easier for us to fit these goals into the business model. The SDGs provide a framework for innovation, creating business growth opportunities and new business models, products, or services that drive progress towards the goals. Following the framework also helps to identify partners within sectors and across different industries, which enables us to scale up our effort and ultimately achieve the goals. Companies that do not have impactful sustainability commitments or are not aligning their strategy with SDGs are likely to experience increasing stakeholder scrutiny and risk losing access to capital and new market opportunities, driven by investors' decisions to allocate capital to sustainable business. As I have mentioned, we want to be an example for our competitors and to reach higher levels together.
Thanks, Billy. Okay, so next up, we have Irina.
Now we have two big projects, and the first one is coding circular economy, and another one is coding education in sustainability. So it is really such project can help us to improve ecosystem in our city as well as in the whole region. And the main idea of this project is that they make sustainability very clear for our members and for our students.
Okay, great, thanks. So Keravan?
Regarding our how we implement this within the company, this environment protection is already priority and main direction of our strategy. As you know, we are a part of international company and the OFS. Within this benchmark, we try to be more ambitious and to think more deeply in this regard of reducing waste. So we already started to find partners who are experts in this regard, and with we will do a very deep partnership with them to get consultations and to identify the first steps, what we can do in this regard. And definitely we will need this information campaign. We already have some trainings for our employees, but it would be more intense. And also outside the company, we will start with this some creative and some information campaigns. And hopefully, regarding this packaging, hopefully it is a very big problem for the whole world. There is no technology who will replace this PET packaging, plastic packaging, but we hope that within the time and with all the efforts, it can be also changed. Thank you.
Great. And last but not least, we have Oksana.
Thanks, Ashley. So actually we have started where we can merge the gained knowledge, and simultaneously we have been developing a sustainability plan in Ukraine. So we were lucky to share our knowledge with colleagues and with our management team, and also with the sustainability core team. Part of this team, actually, I am. We have elaborated on and started implementation of the sustainability plan. It took quite a long time. It's very detailed and it goes in line with our global aspirations and also expectations to run business at 3 levels by running a safe, efficient, responsible, and profitable business for our customers by helping shape more sustainable energy future, and with our wider society and local communities by contributing to positive changes in communities where we operate. Shell Retail in Ukraine, we have 19 working groups, which is all of them are working on different issues related to sustainability. And they are managed by a sustainability core team. And those are, for example, energy efficiency at the office and at fuel sites, digitalization of the advertisement, e-documentation, green energy, and other issues as well. And what's more, we have become a member of United Nations Global Compact, as I mentioned on October 2020, and this is a very good local chapter for us to learn more about sustainability and implement this knowledge more into our sustainability plan. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I love hearing about all these specific actions that are being taken to achieve those benchmarks. It's very inspiring. So now we have some time for a general discussion where I invite all of our panelists to chime in. We've gone into the real specifics of the program. We've talked about the sustainability journey, pitches, and benchmarks. But now I'd like to zoom out a little bit and ask about your wider view on the lessons learned from your journey on this accelerator. So if you would like to speak about any key takeaways, something that surprised you along the way, or even something you wished you knew before joining the accelerator. So I welcome anyone who wants to start. Yeah, sure, Billy.
So thanks again to UN Global Compact for this super opportunity and the work done during those 6 months period. Personally, the most important thing that this program has given me was understanding how much power unity has, as well as how we can help each other to grow and develop. I'm glad that Georgia has such companies and people who are always ready to interchange ideas for a superior result. I didn't expect such openness and readiness as the stage of overcoming any challenge. I would like to program to be further developed and to be more adapted to the private sector. Also, everything was still very fantastic. I think we can find ways that would have an even greater impact on people's consciousness. I would also like to speak about Ukraine, a very good friend of my country. I was studying in Poland at some point in my life where I met a lot of Ukrainians, many of whom are my friends today. This country has the potential to become one of the leading countries in Europe, and this program and such frequent communication with them has strengthened my thoughts even more. I hope all this will be a step to a better future. Thanks again.
Yep, and that's one of the other benefits of having a fully virtual program is we had these collaborations between countries that would have been a little bit more difficult in person. So I echo that sentiment, and it's great to see Georgia and Ukraine working together.
Thank you.
And first of all, I would like to add, it is really a great experience because we have very professional network and very friendly and professional friends that we can ask what else we need. And another, my lesson from this accelerator is that during our education, we got a lot of different and new methods for us, for example, and in such a way we can become more sustainable and more develop this idea in Ukraine, for example.
I think I saw Oksana was raising her hand. Wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, I can add, but then I thought maybe Kere will. So, okay, I'll step in. I think it was a very good theoretical exercise. And what I was surprised, it was the level of details we had to work on. It was really very much detailed, and it took some working time from us, but still we were happy to review and to discuss this from such a perspective. Well, what I would wish we knew before joining the program, I think to know how to choose the concrete benchmarks and how to easily integrate those into business activities. It was not that easy, but all in all, the program is quite good, and it gives a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, but also it's a platform which unites people. So I'm really happy to take part in the Sdg Academy. Sometimes we had some connection issues, and those technical issues slightly worsened all like information supply, all this networking. But still, even with this, it was very useful, and I do hope that we will have some follow-up within a year, probably how all those projects were and are actually moving on, so that we can share. What also I would suggest is maybe to, what I missed at this program was some kind of like inspirational examples of other companies' representatives, which could go and share with us like something that they had achieved. Maybe not as being a part of the Sdg Academy, but maybe doing something sustainable in the company, so that we could ask and brainstorm on some very practical issues, very practical Q&As. So that would be really good, and I would really advise to add this kind of like practical sharing experience from other companies into these modules of the Sdg Academy. But apart from this, we are very thankful for actually joining, and we will implement our knowledges while implementing Ukrainian sustainability plan. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Ketevan also has her hand up.
Yes, I wanted to add that this program was very practical, for me, as we are working on real cases and on real projects. We also got some theoretical knowledge with on-demand sessions, and it was also very convenient to see all the videos and all the presentations on demand session. But this practical cases and to work on real examples and to listen to other participants was very useful. And the surprise, to name it surprise like this, for me was to see so many professionals from other companies, from other NGOs, and not only, but also from other countries like Ukraine. It was very useful for me to listen to their projects and to compare the situations, and we have some similar cases, some different cases, and it was very useful and important for us as well. And thank you again.
Great, thank you, Kenevan. It was great hearing about how everyone thought the program was very practical. I'd love to hear later on from all of you if you've taken any of these practical learnings into other parts of your life, outside of SDG Ambition or outside of work even. That'd be very interesting to hear. But yeah, so actually we do have a few more minutes of time. So why don't we answer that? Has anyone here picked up on any of those practical things they've learned at the accelerator that they think will be helpful in other parts of their life or other parts of their job?
Yeah, I can say that's about actually, good detailed work and having good theoretical background to do some practical stuff. That's probably one lesson learned. And the other one is actually importance of this networking and Q&A, even in COVID-19 times. And I think that even after COVID, the situation, an EU way of doing things will remain. So it was quite useful and quite interesting many month networking experience as well.
That's a good point. Thank you. Anyone else?
This program was very empowering. We find different and sometimes not usual for us ideas. For example, a lot of companies was waiting that they should be sustainable in all 17 goals. But according to our education, according to all information we have gotten, I understand that it is enough to be sustainable in just some pathways, and in such a way you can be better and really more effective.
That's a good point. Thank you, Irina. Does anyone else have anything they wanted to add before we wrap up? Okay, well then on that note, it looks like we're just out of time. So I wanted to thank all of the panelists for joining today on Ukraine and Georgia's Lessons Learned on the SDG Ambition Journey panel. We heard from a range of motivated participants that really came from a diverse background of industries and sectors. And I think that really speaks volumes to how applicable this accelerator is to every company, as long as they want to make a difference and raise their ambition. So round 2 of SDG Ambition will start after the Leader Summit. Our company registration form actually will go live on June 17th, so very soon. So if you have any questions, please reach out to a local network that is running the accelerator, or you can reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. So thank you once again to our panelists. Thank you to Alexandra from the Ukrainian network, to Nino from the Georgian network, and thank you to our audience here today also. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Leader Summit.